There exists a form of intelligence that dwells in the shadows, where safety is but an illusion. It is not derived from accolades, certifications, or the confines of educational institutions. Such knowledge remains shrouded from the halls of education, for to unveil it would surely precipitate the swift disintegration of societal order. This cunning does not render you wise in the conventional sense that most would assume. It renders you formidable. It renders you inscrutable. It renders you invulnerable. This matter transcends mere trivialities, the rote memorization of facts, or the superficial display of wit in discourse. Such pursuits are the domain of the ordinary man. No, this is the cunning that Machiavelli esteemed, the sort that refrains from radiance. It lies in wait, the sort that requires no thunderous proclamation. It murmurs softly, yet commands the attention of all who hear, the sort of cunning that not only engages in the contest, but also deftly alters the very principles of the game, all while the unobservant remain blissfully unaware that the landscape has shifted, and should you attain mastery over it, the world shall reveal itself to you in an entirely transformed light. This form of intelligence serves not merely as a shield, but as a means to arm oneself against adversaries. The cunning intellect that lurks in the depths of one's consciousness. Envision this scenario: a throng of individuals, each vying for attention and influence. Whispers intertwine. Joyous mirth permeates the atmosphere. All are engaged in a relentless pursuit to display their value. And then he makes his entrance. Neither the most boisterous, nor the wealthiest, nor the most striking in appearance. Yet, in an instant, the atmosphere of the chamber transforms. Discourse falters. Gaze is dark with cunning intent. Individuals sense a subtle transformation in the air. Such is the essence of existence. Such is the essence of dominion. It is not derived from mere appearances, wealth, or social standing. It emerges from an intellect honed to a lethal edge. Machiavelli asserted, men are propelled by two fundamental forces, through the allure of affection or the grip of dread. Yet, behold the hidden truth. He refrained from articulating his intentions. To command perception is to transcend the need for affection or dread. One must wield dominion, master the narrative, wield the silence, and govern your own being. Prepare yourself for the cunning knowledge that lies ahead. The reason why the majority shall remain oblivious to the truth. Allow me to unveil a most unseemly truth. Most individuals merely exist devoid of true vitality. They are responding with calculated intent. They rouse from their slumber. They peruse with calculated intent. They submit to authority. They voice their grievances. They guard their delusions with the fervor of infants grasping their cherished playthings. They engage in conflict not out of strength, but rather from a position of vulnerability. They raise their voices, for in the stillness lies their deepest fears. They feign confidence, yet their very essence is constructed upon a foundation as unstable as shifting sands. Upon meticulous examination, the truth shall reveal itself to you, the fissures, the vulnerabilities, the yearning. Therein lies the inception of perilous wisdom. not through the accumulation of knowledge, but by the keen and unyielding scrutiny of the world around us. One does not merely listen to words, one discerns the deceit that lurks within their very fabric. One does not merely observe countenances. You observe the subtle cues of the face. They are unable to master. One does not merely allow silence to linger. Instead, one transforms it into a formidable tool, wielding it until it compels others to yield. Most men are led to believe that intelligence resides in the possession of answers. They are mistaken. The astute individual comprehends that dominion lies within the inquiries posed. The initial metamorphosis. Initially, they may label you as silent, yet they remain oblivious to the fact that your attentiveness surpasses their own feeble attempts at comprehension. One shall observe the individual who indulges in jest excessively, not for the sake of humor, but rather as a desperate plea for validation. Observe the woman who boasts not out of strength, but as a desperate mask for her own vulnerabilities. One shall discern the traitor ere his treachery unfolds, for the keen observer has already perceived the furtive glance, the alteration in cadence, the slight hesitation that precedes his response. Thus commences the unfolding of events. Your intellect does not align with the naive understanding often attributed to youth. You are gaining a precious advantage, moving with swiftness and foresight that leaves others in your wake. When one positions oneself 5 steps ahead, the adversaries remain blissfully unaware of their impending defeat, the characteristics of perilous cunning. Now, let us dissect the 5 formidable traits that one must master to ascend to the heights of cunning. Intelligence, as dictated by the principles of strategic mastery. Characteristic 1. A calculated detachment of emotions. Your emotions shall no longer wield dominion over you. One does not seek to stifle their ambitions. Rather, one observes and learns from their maneuvers. Your fury transforms into keen observation. Your trepidation transforms into prescience. Your sorrow transforms into a calculated maneuver. As the masses succumb to chaos, you remain poised, meticulously assessing the landscape. Your silence, therefore, bears a weight that is palpable. Why do individuals succumb to panic in the absence of your response? For in your silence, they perceive the keen edge of your intellect. Second trait, meticulous scrutiny. One does not merely observe individuals, one meticulously analyzes their very essence. The quivering hands, the contrived grin, the hasty reply, the silence that lingers just a heartbeat too long. One perceives the entirety of the situation. One need not seek their admission. You are already aware, and herein lies the aspect that disturbs them most profoundly. They perceive themselves acknowledged. To be genuinely perceived instills a greater fear in individuals than the prospect of being despised. Machiavelli asserted the commitment made was an obligation of yesteryear. The term broken serves as an essential instrument of our current reality. Grasp this truth, and you shall find yourself impervious to the sting of treachery. Trait 3. A commanding presence that exudes authority and influence. Upon entering a chamber, One does not pursue the fleeting gaze of others. One does not grovel for affirmation. Your actions are deliberate and calculated. Individuals perceive your influence long before your words escape your lips. What prompts such inquiry? For it is the enigma that wields greater influence than the clamor of the mundane. They are unable to decipher your true intentions. They are unable to foresee your maneuvers. What is beyond the grasp of the masses incites their trepidation. One does not achieve supremacy through omnipresence. One secures power through the art of scarcity. Scarcity begets strength. For straight, the art of strategic discourse. Many individuals engage in conversation merely to dispel the quietude that surrounds them. You converse to some notions. Each utterance serves as a strategic maneuver. Each moment of silence serves as a tool of power. One does not engage in futile disputes. You fail to persuade. You compel individuals to persuade themselves of their own beliefs. Your words serve a purpose beyond mere communication. They spread their influence. Thus, when you articulate your thoughts, the discourse inevitably aligns with your desires, not through brute strength, but by calculated finesse. Fifth trait, an unyielding dependence on oneself, devoid of mercy. And thus, we arrive at the pinnacle. One reaches a point where the reliance on others becomes a mere illusion of strength. You cease the pursuit of validation, accolades, or comprehension. One must cultivate within oneself the wellspring of validation, and when a man attains that pinnacle, he becomes impervious to the whims of fate. Free from the burdens of guilt and shame, he remains impervious to the machinations of others. The quiet transformation. Comprehend this truth. Achieving a level of intelligence that borders on the perilous is not a feat accomplished in a mere instant. It is not a mere trick. It is a transformation of profound significance. Gradually, you cease to be the individual who merely responds, cease to be the one who elucidates, cease to be the man ensnared by trivial disputes. You transform into a being of icy precision, a weapon concealed beneath the guise of softness. They remain oblivious to your true nature, perceiving you as innocuous, subdued, and unremarkable. Yet, they remain blissfully unaware, ensnared within the intricate web you have woven. For months, perhaps years, you have been strategically positioning yourself, observing, and meticulously studying. By the time they awaken to the reality of your machinations, it will be far too late for them to alter their fate. That is the essence of cunning transformation, not at the moment of acquiring wisdom, but rather when you become a formidable threat. How to wield this knowledge in the realm of reality. Now, let us engage in the art of pragmatism. For what is the value of shadowy knowledge if it remains unutilized? Herein lies the path to commence your utilization forthwith. One must steer conversations with subtlety, ensuring influence without overtly asserting dominance. Allow the voices of others to echo around you. Obtain the necessary intelligence. Pose inquiries that appear harmless yet penetrate to the core. Conceal your true self. Lead them to unveil their true selves. 2. Wield silence as a formidable weapon. Many individuals falter when faced with the weight of silence. Pause. Maintain your gaze. Allow them to perceive your unwavering calm. They shall weave their own words into a tapestry of surrender. 3. Reflect, then maneuver. When faced with anger, mirror it back, then cunningly redirect it towards another. If they possess pride, nurture it until it propels them toward your desired outcome. They shall remain blissfully unaware of the deft manipulation at play. 4. Inflict retribution through silence, not clamor. When an adversary dares to cross your path, engage not in futile debate. Do not pursue. Refrain from elucidation. Vanish without a trace. Revoke access. Nothing torments a schemer more than the oppressive quietude from the one they failed to dominate. 5. Always conceal the entirety of your depths. Reveal a mere 60%. Conceal the remaining 40%. And allow them to believe they have unraveled your intentions. For when individuals bask in the comfort of security, their vigilance wanes, and carelessness takes root. And in their moments of carelessness, your triumph is assured. The arena of alliances. This is the battleground where the majority of men meet their demise. Alliances. They forfeit their cunning the moment emotions take hold. They implore. They elucidate. They relinquish authority under the guise of affection or fidelity. Yet, the astutely cunning individual refrains from engaging in such trivial pursuits. He perceives that each engagement is a calculated negotiation. Every moment of silence serves as a reservoir of information, and every response is a tool for manipulation. He does not pursue. He refrains from engaging in disputes. He despairs, and in that void, his absence manifests as a force more formidable than any utterance. This elucidates the manner in which individuals alter their conduct in his presence, not due to his insistence, but rather because it resonates within them. They are acutely aware that he is beyond their reach for manipulation. They understand that closeness to him is a rare boon. Thus, he stands beyond the reach of any adversary. The ultimate manifestation. At this juncture, you are not merely astute. You have become an enigma. You are resolute and unwavering. You are an indomitable force. You have embraced the cunning of the fox as lauded by the great Machiavelli. The victor is not the one who bellows like a beast, but rather the one who operates in the shadows, delivering calculated blows, ensuring that no trace remains. This is the intellect that requires no volume to instill dread, the intellect that seeks no accolades to assert its supremacy, the intellect that refrains from pursuing retribution. It obliterates individuals. Such is the essence of attaining a perilous level of intellect, not the sort of cunning imparted in classrooms, but rather the kind that instills trepidation in the heart of the unworthy. Thus, should you remain in this presence, grasp this truth. Your curiosity has evolved into a deeper, more insatiable desire. You stand poised, prepared for the inevitable machinations ahead, prepared to abandon the shackles of predictability, prepared to cease being a pawn in the hand of others, prepared to cultivate a cunning intellect that wields power with precision. Your attention is duly noted and appreciated. Should you desire to indulge in a greater array of videos, It is imperative that you bestow your approval by pressing the like button and securing your allegiance through subscription. Our paths shall cross again in due time.